actually reach that target? And today we're here to unveil the policy that answers that question. Introducing the Safeguard Mechanism. After a wasted decade under the last government, we know you elected us to take real climate action. Thankfully, the shit party set the bar so low, we could come up with the shit light policy and you'd still applaud us for it. So that's what we've done. Safeguard Mechanism. To be honest, it's not even our policy. That's right. The best part of the Safeguard Mechanism is it's made from recycled materials, which we got from the previous government. It was brought in by this prick to safeguard the coal and gas industry. So we thought, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So we just tweaked it, stuck our logo on it, and voila, reintroducing the Safeguard Mechanism, or as we call it, S&M, because it'll hurt the planet, make it all hot and wet, but you'll love it, because it's a Labour policy, except it's not. Fuck you. Safeguard Mechanism. If passed by Parliament, our repackaged shit-light Safeguard Mechanism will safeguard the coal and gas industry for the rest of this decade. Because let's be clear, the only way humanity currently knows how to reduce actual emissions is simple. Stop fucking digging up new coal and gas. Which is why the science says that's what we must do. Does the Safeguard Mechanism do that? Yeah. Nah, that's why we still have over 100 new coal and gas projects awaiting approval. All the Safeguard does is force them to buy carbon credits to offset their emissions. Not all their emissions, just a tiny bit of another tiny part of their emissions. Which might sound like an incentive until you remember fossil fuel companies made this much profit last year alone. So the cost of buying credits to avoid reducing their actual emissions comes to approximately fuck all. Does the Safeguard at least limit how many credits they can buy? No, which means our mates can even increase emissions, pay to offset them with credits and still claim to be net zero. Given Tony's, our climate policy relies entirely on carbon credits, it would be a real shame if those credits turned out to be bullshit. Thankfully, we just held an inquiry into their integrity. And who better to appoint to it than people linked to the carbon credit industry? But don't worry, the inquiry looked at all the evidence. Evidence from the ANU, evidence the inquiry itself commissioned, even evidence from companies that sell carbon credits, all of which suggests they're mostly bullshit, and then concluded they're essentially sound, cool and normal. By now you're probably wondering, if our policy to reach our 2030 target doesn't stop new coal and gas projects, doesn't reduce most emissions from existing ones, lets them buy infinite credits to offset emissions with credits that don't offset emissions, does it really do anything? Oh, sweetie, sure it does. It distracts you with bullshit so our mates can keep making the ching-ching for the rest of this decade. Australian government. New government, same climate shit fuckery. Authorised by the Department for ensuring our 2030 target is a flaw, not